Hey, Team Crosby, this is Rebecca Darris. I just wanted to give you a little bit of backstory about our family. We live in New Orleans. I am a stepmom to an 11-year-old girl, and I've got 2 boys. And I've been married for almost 6 years to my husband, Michael. And we went through a tragedy in our family about a year and a half ago. Well, it's not a tragedy, but it was a trauma. Our son, Graham, who was 10 months old at the time, drowned in a bucket when I was washing my car. It was this big solid bucket, and he had just started pulling up, and I was more worried about the cleaning supplies than I was about the water. So it took me about 30 seconds to realize that he wasn't crawling around at my feet like he had been, and when I found him, he was face forward in the bucket. We went to the PICU, of course, immediately. He didn't breathe on his own for 45 minutes. He didn't breathe on his heart wasn't beating for 45 minutes. He had other people working on him. And the doctor that saw us that first night said, "Your son is not going to make it. He's going to die. His brain's going to swell, and he's not going to make it." And I said, "So you're telling me that it's going to take a miracle?" And she said, "Yeah, it's going to take a miracle." And she was very pessimistic, of course. She just wanted to be, a normal, rational, logical person. And I thought, great, my son is dead. Because, why, if God is going to give a miracle to somebody, why would it be me? It was my fault. He was in the bucket on my watch. And I just kind of resolved myself to losing my son. And about 5 or 6 days later, that same doctor came in and said, "Well, I guess you got your miracle." And he was in the ICU for 10 days. And people all over the world were praying for him. There were so many cool stories about 2 people in London running into each other and saying, "Oh my gosh, you need to pray for this little boy." And the other person going, "I'm already praying for that little boy." That happened in London. I think it happened in Bulgaria and Indonesia. It was all these crazy random places across the world, and people were praying for my son. And I'm not saying that God chose to save him when he didn't save so many others. I have 2 best friends who lost their babies, and so I thought, it's my turn. When we were in the ambulance, I just thought, it's only fair. It's my turn. I should go through the same kind of suffering that they did, especially since it was my fault. Of course, that's what you tell yourself as a mama. So as a family, we went through a horrific experience dealing with PTSD. My husband came home right after it happened, so he saw people working on his son. He was in the ambulance with me. So we just struggled for a very long time. We were drinking too much. We weren't able to sleep. I was having nightmares. I had every symptom of PTSD in the book. I would have flashbacks. I was hypervigilant. I couldn't even think about the incident or talk about it. My dad wrote a book called "Your Pain is Changing You," and Graham just happened. His incident happened when my dad was writing that book, so he's a big part of that book. And my dad sent me this excerpt to read, I guess, and I read the first few words, and I wrote him back, and I said, "You got to send this to someone else. I cannot do this." I still have yet to read that book, but my point is that we were physically falling apart as a family, just trying to make it day to day and be somewhat productive. We were both gaining weight because we were drinking so much. We were making poor choices because we just didn't have the ability to function. And I got into Plexus because my sister-in-law just, she was selling it, and so I thought, I'm going to try it because I think I told y'all before I had problems with sugar imbalance in my body. But had that not happened to me, I don't think that my mental health would have caught up. My physical body was so broken because of the trauma. And Plexus kind of catapulted me into health. And it just changed our lives. I know that sounds so trite and cliche, but had my body not been healthy, I would not have had the energy or the capacity to take care of my mental health. I have a fabulous therapist here who helped me through the trauma. She's a PTSD therapist, so if you need someone, I highly recommend her. And my son, you look at him today and he is a walking miracle. Did I mention that that same doctor told me I got my miracle? I think it did. So he's a mess. They call him the little bully at school, which is somewhat disturbing, but you know what? He's here. He's alive. And God always says in his word that we are called to take care of people's physical ailments. And that's what Plexus does for you. You can't be healthy if your physical body is a mess. And I am a testament to that. My husband's a testament to that. He's down 25 pounds. We drink very rarely. We are exercising and we have crazy energy with our kids, and my business is booming because I'm functioning and I'm healthy and happy. And I would not be in this place if it hadn't been for Plexus. I wouldn't be in this place maybe as quickly as I was because Plexus got my body going. And then my brain just had to catch up. And here I am. And I hope y'all have a fabulous Wednesday. And I hope that your business booms. Feel free to share this video with whoever. Just to change people's lives. That's what we're doing. All right. Happy Wednesday.